We see on the internet, many people are asking what's going on the electric cuts with Sri Lanka.
And because we've been here for the last 4 months, we decided to share our experience and hopefully it will help people who are planning to come to Sri Lanka soon.
So, let's begin. Hi guys, my name is JJ and this is my wife Julia. We are a travel couple trying to generate online income so we can travel full-time. But unfortunately at the moment we have a really small budget, and with this budget we're going to travel all around Sri Lanka and share our adventures with you guys. In the last 1 month the electric cuts are actually pretty bad, but previously there were some cuts, but it wasn't as bad. Yes baby?
Yeah, it was like usually once a month, it was like few days in a row. And it was like, for example, when it was in Weligama, it was usually like 1 hour in the evening, and we was just popping up to Marisa and it was light there.
Yeah, it wasn't like all day or twice a day or something like this. It was just like randomly. You didn't know when it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it was happening like few days in a row, and then for one and a half month it was nothing.
There was nothing.
So there was no problem at all.
And
for
the cuts were like 1 hour, so it wasn't that long either.
Yeah, it was no problem at all. But last 1 month it gets pretty serious.
So as far as what we know is Sri Lanka generates electric from two types. One is from petrol, they use it, and the other is from water turbines. Apparently for some reason the water turbines amount gone down and they needed more petrol, but there was no foreign currency in the reserves for the government, so they couldn't pay for the petrol. The ships were available, they were already in Sri Lanka, but they didn't have money to pay for the petrol, and that's what put it in a struggle. And that's why they kind of get into this schedule system where they start cutting all around island in a specific times.
Yeah, and it's happening like everywhere, twice a day, every day. There are a little bit better in weekends, like they put few less hours for the weekends, but the rest of the days are twice a day.
Only exceptional areas, so if you're lucky and you stay in next to a big general hospital,
like that.
Yeah, they cannot specify a building, so they just specify that area and they don't cut the electric, which is good because I'm sure many people who sick in hospital, they couldn't survive because it was at one point it was really bad, like 8-9 hours per day, 8 hours per day. 7.5 hours per day, yeah. So at least the hospitals were, if you had a by luck around the hospital, you were fine, but if you were any other person, you were dealing with a lot of cuts.
How we know the schedule, there is actually a website, it's pretty organized, where you can go and check. But I will put the link here so you can check it out if you want. And there is like areas, the letters, which they keep changing, which is really annoying because like at first Weligama was in C, I think then it's become F, now it's D. And
so you need to be careful.
Yeah,
every time you check the report, we always go back and make sure we are in the still same category. I think the reason is like as they changing how many hours per day they're gonna cut for different areas, so they have to do different organization, I think, and that's why sometimes the category can change. So it's important for you to make sure your category is still the same. And the one problem for me is this: they wait for the last minute. It's not like upfront that you can know. Generally 11, 12 at night you can find the result for the next day.
And it's only for 1 day, not like for a week ahead, which will be really helpful so you can plan your week or plan your day, you know. Again, I don't do that.
But still appreciate that at least we know from the night before what's going to happen the next day and we can plan accordingly.
Every time before sleep we're checking it and we know like what should we do tomorrow, we plan our day, so
it definitely can be better if it's a weekly schedule, much more easy, much more, or at least early in the day for the next day so we don't need to wait for late time to check. But nevertheless, it's still good enough. For example, right now there is no electricity in our area. They cut the electric until 11:30.
Yeah,
right?
from 8 in the morning until 11:30 today.
Yeah. So by knowing this, we know that we didn't need to wake up early in the morning. Generally, we like to wake up early in the morning, and the laptops are not working because of no electric. So that's why we're making this video. And
yeah, we had time, so
and if it wasn't that, then we would have do something else. We would have go somewhere else, you know what I mean? So by knowing this information is really helpful, don't you think?
Yeah, usually when it's like power cuts, we go for shopping or we go for surfing, so we're trying to do something like outside the house because it gets pretty hot and we cannot really work because of our laptop situation, but it's obviously our problem, because our batteries are dead.
Yeah. But lately it started getting better. Like at one point it was really bad. It was like 8 hours every day, and it was quite a lot. Like
yeah, I was feeling pretty bad. But like for example today, it's how much is it from 8
Well, I
till
think today-
11?
today we are looking at 9, 10, 11, 3.5 hours plus 4.5 hours, 5 hours. We're looking around 5 hours today. So it's not that little actually when you look at it.
Yeah, it's not that little.
So after 8 hours, it was going better, but now it seems to getting worse again. Unfortunately.
In the next section, we wanted to give some advice to like future travelers. At first, let's start with just people who come here for a week or two. What do you think, baby? Will it affect them?
Well, in a sense it will, and in a sense it will not. Like at the beginning, the people who was here as a tourist, I think they've been affected a lot. But the businesses are not stupid. It's been nearly a month like this, and everywhere, nearly everywhere, got a generator. So as a tourist, if you are here and the electric cuts, you don't need to behave like us because we are in a budget. You can just go in a nice restaurant, have a meal, or have a shisha, or have a drink, and you don't even realize that there is no electricity because you go to a place with the electricity.
Most of attractions actually in Sri Lanka are outdoors. There is all the temples, surfing, sea, you can tan, so you don't really need electricity in daytime that much. There are obviously like exceptions, like people with kids, for example, who need to sleep in daytime and need air condition. Like in that case, when you book your hotel, make sure it have generator. And usually it's like better hotels. It's not like 2-3 stars hotels. It's like more expensive hotels have generators because they need to pay extra money for petrol, for everything.
Yeah, you can contact them and say like, I heard there's electric cuts, will there be air conditioning even if there is not electric?
Like for the public transportation, I don't think there is any much change. Like the buses and trains, everything is going. I think they might a little bit increase the prices for tuk-tuks because the petrol prices is increasing.
Everything is increasing at the moment because the exchange rate is increasing. So as a tourist, it will not affect you as much as it's affecting locals because locals are earning local money, but the prices are increasing. But as a tourist, when you come in, your exchange rate, what you get in Sri Lankan rupees for your money, is increasing as well. So the price change is not going to affect you as much.
It's not going to affect you,
as much, and still really cheap. Like for foreigners like us, exchanging money, I think is cheap. Unfortunately for Sri Lankans, we cannot say the same thing.
Yeah. So to sum up, if you're a tourist, I think you can still come and you will really help Sri Lanka now because they really need the currency. They really need like
foreign exchange.
Yeah. So I think you just need to be prepared. I think you are prepared and you know what to expect. You still can enjoy your holidays because there is lots of outdoor activities, and if you don't need air condition that much, you will be still fine. You just can be outside all day.
And of course, all the foreigners coming here are not tourists. There are people like us who's digital nomads. So as a digital nomad, you will have to adjust a little bit more different compared to tourists. I assume tourists will be always out. They will always have more money compared to digital nomad to go for entertainment when the electric is cut. But whereas
digital nomads have 8 hours to work, but we're not talking about the people who like have a YouTube channel like us and do whatever they want. We're talking about people who work for a company in their home country and they have a working hours like from 8 in the morning till 5 in the evening. They need to be online, and there is so many people like this in Sri Lanka. So
if you are like that, I will be honest, you will struggle. There are solutions, but you will struggle. Because when the electric cuts, you cannot work at home because you will lose your internet. Even if
there is another option, baby. You can rent a house with a generator. There is always a solution as far as you have money, you know?
Yeah,
or you can go to co-working space, which are pretty a lot nowadays because obviously you need them.
Where we have in Weligama?
I have 4 of them. Yeah? I told you yesterday I messaged on Facebook and I have like 5-6 recommendations.
Okay, so it's good.
With generator and everything. Of course, baby, like businesses realize that people need to work, and some of them like otherwise they will leave because they need to be this 8 hours online.
Yeah, we didn't look into it. I didn't look into it that much. We are much more relaxed. You know, whenever there is electric cut, I prefer to go do something, what we need to do, and then electric hours, just work.
Depends, yeah, what job you are. If you are like online editor or something, if you don't have these fixed hours, you can like work at night, for example, and sleep in daytime. You can just shift your schedule. But yeah, if you have this certain hours you need to be online, or you have some like meetings and stuff, yeah, that's gonna be a problem, to be honest.
Yeah, but like working space, I think I understand you can trust, but if it's not a working space and just going to a cafe, I wouldn't trust that much the internet connection. You can suddenly lose the internet connection. I think there is still a little bit problem with the internet in Sri Lanka.
About the internet, I think you can still use data, like you can connect your phone to the laptop and work like that, but yeah, obviously it's not that trustful. Like in the times when it was 8 hours cut, our dialogue SIM card was crashing as well, because I guess so many people were using it. I was stopping, to be honest. If you're a digital nomad, maybe wait a little bit and don't come to Sri Lanka. Unfortunately,
because
it will affect your job a lot.
Yeah, or you can find a place that is next to a working space that is reliable, you know? Then working space, I'm sure they would have to keep the internet up and running and fast, because that's the ideal working space. Co-working space, whatever it is. Other than that, I wouldn't exactly say trust 100%, to be honest.
Yeah, like for example, yesterday in daytime it was a cut for like 2 hours, and we went to a cafe, just like not to work, just to chill, and it was a generator there, but Wi-Fi was not working, so it was working only the lights and the fans.
Yeah,
for some reason
also
they
last half an hour of the electric cut, they run out of petrol.
Yeah, petrol finished, and they say, oh sorry, like electric will come in 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, you know, it's like you still can at least charge your laptop, but there is no Wi-Fi if you need. So I don't know.
So take what you take from that. That's our honest opinion.
Yeah. And the last thing I wanted to discuss is petrol situation, and I pass it to you, babe, as you're a driver.
Petrol situation, like, I still don't know clearly what's going on, because there was really bad a few weeks ago. Like, there was massive lines, and I was even scared that it's gonna run out, like it will not be possible to buy.
Yeah, we even fill up a few bottles for ourselves to keep it at home, just in case.
And like for my rent, I speak to the guy, like I'm giving you half of the month this month. I will wait to see
for the scooter rent.
Yeah, for the scooter rent, because I will wait to see if there is enough petrol. It was getting so scary, but now it's much more relaxed. Sometimes there are lines in the petrol station, but I don't think it's from the shortages, because there are times that you can just go and there is not a line. So I'm not exactly clear at the moment what's going on.
Maybe because like petrol prices keep rising slowly, and maybe people hear in the news that tomorrow will be a rise, and that's why everyone goes to petrol station to fill it up before. I don't know, but we've been really lucky. To be honest, we didn't have any problem with petrol. Every time we need petrol, first of all, we don't wait until the last minute. When we have a half tank, we usually fill it up. Yeah, and like every time we need, we always like, okay, if in one petrol is a line, for example, in Weligama, we go to Melissa and it's empty there. So,
but also really I think the advantage for us is that we are free. We can go any time of the day. If you have to work here and you just after work, I think the lines can get really long.
There are rush hours, obviously.
Early in the morning and after work hours, the rush hours, I think the line still gets pretty big. But for us, we can just pop in anytime, and that's why we can find these times that is gap in between the line. But that also shows me that there is no petrol shortages, because if there is petrol shortages, it doesn't matter if you work, you just need to get out to go get the petrol, you know?
Yeah.
But so I don't think you should be stressed. As a tourist, I think you will be fine. If you come here, you will be able to find a petrol. I don't think it's a problem.
Yeah, you can easily rent a scooter. I don't think you will face any issue.
You might face a problem with a gas. If you are nomads like us and you want to cook at home, there is shortages of gas. I don't know how many places facing this, but I know like.
But I see people on Facebook keep posting that they cannot find it in Gale, in Unavatuna, and in Weligama as well.
Yeah. So.
In one point, actually, it was pretty bad in Weligama. I think a few weeks ago, most of restaurants were closed, and it was scary because we always eat out our lunch.
Yeah.
And everything was closed, and they were saying like, "Sorry, we're out of gas."
Yeah, the restaurants were closed. It was like only 1 or 2 restaurants, not like the posh restaurants where the tourists will go, but for like
Local restaurants, yeah,
local
where you
restaurants where the
said
locals
that
go,
once, yeah.
only 1 or 2 was left where it was a decent price. And luckily that period passed. I think
Yeah,
the
now
gas
everything
came,
is fine.
all the restaurants are
Yeah.
open again.
I'm glad. Yeah, it was really scary to see that. You know.
Yeah. So that's it, I guess. And if you're planning to come to Sri Lanka and you have any more question, write in the comments and we'll try to help you out as much as we can.
Yeah, I hope it was helpful, guys. So see you next video. Bye bye.
Bye bye.